Привет, comrades. TFCom here. Um, as promised, my video. It's a little later than promised because of a lot of issues that went on. So that's a fun thing. So, I'll just do the broad first, then I'll go into detail. My appointment was from 2 to 6. I asked off for this, which I think I mentioned this in the last video, but I'll say it again. I asked off for it on the 14th, maybe the 15th at latest. Come the new schedule, I was scheduled to work during that time. I told my boss I couldn't do that. Ended up being a big fight. Not like physically yelling at each other, but it was more of like, I have proof right here. And he was like, well, I don't have any proof. Like it was a big struggle. And finally he changed it to, I come in at 6:30 to close. Okay. Well, he starts calling me nonstop at about 3:45, which is when I was supposed to come in originally. And I'm like, I'm not answering the phone. I'm literally in the middle of testing. Like, my phone volume was off, but I could feel it vibrating. I'm like, stop. And I knew it was him. So every time I looked down, it was him calling. And it's like, stop it. I'm literally busy right now. I turned my phone off eventually. I come out of there, and I have like 20 missed calls. And it's like, I can't, and he kept calling. Like, all of them were like a minute apart. Like, he called. I didn't answer. He called again. No voicemails left, of course. So I'm thinking he wants me to come in. And I'm like, no. Like I said, I was busy. I did get out a little early, but I wasn't going to come in early, I don't even know if you guys could hear the beeping. My food just finished in the microwave. But yeah, so I was like, I'm not coming in early, especially after all the stuff he's doing. And my coworker was supposed to cover my shift, more or less. We were supposed to kind of swap shifts. She was going to do my 3:45 to close, and originally she was 4:45 to close, so I would kind of have her shift, but I wouldn't come until 6:30. It was more she would have my shift, and then I would just have a different shift, is what it was. So she calls about noon, just making sure, am I still going to come in at 3:45? And he says, no. He says, no, you follow the schedule. Eli is supposed to come in at 3:45. And she didn't say anything to me, because I guess she assumed maybe my thing got canceled or something. And so I text her after he keeps calling. I text him like, what is going on with Jacob? Like, I am trying to concentrate here. What is going on? Is there some sort of emergency? Because, it takes 2 months usually to schedule these appointments. I don't want to leave here. But, I also don't want to be texting in the middle of my appointment. But I'm like, he's blowing up my phone like crazy. Is there some sort of crazy, like, is someone hospitalized right now? Because that's the only reason you need to be calling me, And she was like, no, he told me not to come in because you were going to do it. And I was like, no, I'm clearly not going to do it. And she said that apparently, she did ask if she needed to come in. He said I was going to do it. And then he started saying, Eli needs to follow the schedule. It's on the schedule. Once the schedule is printed, you cannot change it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, too bad. I'm like, I asked for it off. You knew about everything else. And when I come in, he says, oh, I forgot. And you could tell that he was more just like, I wasn't going to let you do it, But I'll say I forgot, because I wasn't going to come in early. So all that stress. And then after my long testing, which was horrific, I'll go more into that later, then I go into work. And I'm mentally dead, because there's all these hours of telling about my past, my feelings, everything else. After a regular counseling session of an hour, I'm like dead for the rest of the day at least. So this 4-hour thing, no, I was so destroyed. And then all the stuff going on with him calling me, I was just like, I can't do this, But I go in anyway. Corporate's there. And running up and down ladders, tossing things back and forth. Insane amount of work because we're doing inventory tomorrow. So, I'm working my butt off. My asthma starts acting up a little bit. I am shaking like I can't even stand. I'm sweating like crazy through my binder. Like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out any second. And they're still just like, go, go, go. And it's like, I can't go. I'm gonna like die. My head was killing me. My stomach was killing me. Like, I felt like I was gonna die. Probably just pass out. But I was like, I can't do this. Finally, we get through the night. And I feel like I barely make it. I feel like I'm driving so under the speed limit. I probably was because I'm like, I just can't move right now. I'm just like barely squishing by. But I get home and everything, and I'm finally starting to feel a little better. Not much. I think it was heat exhaustion, overworking. Like, couldn't even get a break to get a drink until I was done. And by that point, I'm trying to down water, which of course makes my stomach hurt. So it's like, that didn't help anything. Finally, I'm starting to feel better. But I'm going to finally get some food in my stomach, because I'm finally not nauseous, But, that was horrible. So on to the actual testing. That's the fun part, huh? I don't like this lady. It was okay. I mean, I could kind of somewhat see what she was saying, but, it was very judgy. Very, very judgy. Like, she mentioned if I had any partners, and I said I have 2 boyfriends. And she just went kind of like, oh, 2 boyfriends. And so I'm just like, is it the boyfriend part that she's upset about because fuck you? Or is it the poly part that she's upset about because, again, fuck you? So I was like, oh, they both know about it. It's not, it's completely open. Everyone knows each other and everything. And she's like, well, whatever works for you. And kind of seemed like she said it like that too. Like, that's very much like yeah, I don't know. This is bullshit. But okay, And then she went on to be like, is the reason you have multiple boyfriends because of your high level of insecurity? It's like, fuck you. It's like, yeah, my insecurity's not that, I mean, it's pretty high, but I don't just date someone because they make me feel good. Like, I need to actually like them. It's kind of important. It's kind of an important fact, But, so it goes into that stuff, and then I tell her, about my past, of course, because they're trying to figure out, how long you may have had these conditions and everything else. And I go, into the fact that, she asked if CPS was ever called, because I mentioned how bad my life was with my mom. And so I was like, yeah, they were there quite a few times, but, they always dropped the case. They said they couldn't find anything, whatever. And she kind of gave me a look like, oh, you say all these horrible things happened, CPS found nothing out of that. You're clearly lying that CPS was never there. Or you never actually got hurt. But she kind of was like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Kind of, like, she's like, very much was like, okay, yeah, you're bullshitting us. Or I mentioned that I used to have an alcohol addiction over in middle school. And even now, when I'm really depressed, I drink too much. I try not to do that, but I do. And she's like, so how much did you usually drink? And I was like, well, I usually get drunk every night, sometimes pass out. And she's like, how many drinks was that? And I'm like, well, 1 to 3 bottles, kind of depends on what I had. And she just kind of looked like, no one gets drunk off 1 to 3 bottles. You're clearly lying. And it's like, I started drinking when I was 11, which, I mean, I guess they say build a tolerance, but I don't really build a tolerance. And also, it's like, if I started drinking when I was 11, I didn't even weigh 60 pounds wet. Like, I probably weighed like 50 at most, One drink's gonna make me wasted. Even now, I can't drink 2 without... I mean, I get wasted off of like half a bottle. So it's like, there's... Of course I'd get drunk off that. Like, don't judge me, I'm tiny. Just because you can't get drunk off that. It seemed like she was leaning towards I only dated men because of my issues with my mom, which I know a lot of people do with the lesbians. I don't hear it a lot with guys, but I hear a lot with lesbians. Oh, a guy must have raped you, that's why you only date girls, and things like that. I hear that a lot. And I mentioned that, I had girlfriends in the past, and she was like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, I mentioned I was pan, like, not even 10 minutes ago. It's like, keep up. No. It's like, yeah, I had girlfriends in the past. That's kind of what pan includes. I mean, you could be pan and never have dated a girl. That's just luck. I mean, whosoever you fall for, whatever. But it's not supposed to be a big shock that I dated a girl in the past, just because I'm dating guys now, you know. But she was like, oh, like she didn't even try to hide it. She was just, oh, okay. And I'm just like, well, duh. Oh, man. And it's, I don't know, it just seemed very iffy. She's like, I was called to clarify some diagnosis. I'm like, no, you weren't. Actually, I was called to clarify some of your previous diagnosis. It's like, no, this appointment was to try to make new diagnosis. I'm not denying I have depression and anxiety, and those are the only two I've actually been diagnosed with. So it's like, I'm not denying those. I definitely have them. I'm trying to see if I have something else. Like, I definitely have these. These are not in question. Without a doubt, I have these. Do I have bipolar? Do I have PTSD? I'm trying an official diagnosis. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have both of those, but like, I want an official thing in writing. You're not questioning anything that's already been diagnosed. You know, like, no, I'm positive I have those. I mean, sure, if you want to ask questions, whatever, because, I mean, you can ask me for like 2 minutes, and you can, not even 2 minutes, you can tell I'm insanely depressed and anxiety ridden. So it's like, you know, that's easy to find, but you're not, don't phrase it like they did it wrong. Or she seemed really judging of my counselor. Like, I'd mentioned some issue, like, what was it? I mentioned how I have panic attacks. And she's just like, she should really be working on that with you. And it's like, she is working on that with me. I've only had 2 appointments. You know, like, some people, their whole life, they're not cured. I mean, like, whole life just to manage, just to survive. Better yet, a cure or whatever. So it's like, I only had 2 appointments. There's no way I'd be like, boom, panic attack gone, all good. That doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. You know, and then, or I'd say something and she's like, and you've been seeing her how long? It's like, okay. I could be seeing her for 20 years. You know, it doesn't mean that my issue is going to be gone. It means I may be better at managing it. Maybe. But it doesn't happen that fast. Like, it doesn't happen that fast. I can't just be like, that's like the type of thing when people are like, I'm sad. Don't be sad. I'm all better. You know, like, it doesn't happen that fast. They can give you some tips to help manage it, you know, everything else, but, you know, like, it doesn't just get rid of the problem. So that was fun. There's a bunch of other things. What was it? I don't even remember them all off the top of my head, but there were so many things I was just like, what? She seemed kind of annoyed that I wouldn't look her in the eye. And I'm just like, first of all, I am trying not to have a panic attack right now because I'm reliving some really dark things in my past for hours at a time. Like, I can't focus this long on this. Second of all, I'm fidgety because I've been sitting here for 4 hours, you know? And it's like, third of all, I have autism. I can't look people in the eye. I can't do it. Like, nothing against you. I don't even look my boyfriend in the eye most of the time. Nothing against you. I mean, just, I know not looking people in the eye is usually a sign of lying. Okay. But I wouldn't be going through all this effort just to get pills. I mean, maybe. But bipolar meds aren't really, I mean, I guess you can get addicted to anything, but they aren't really a high drug. Like, they prevent you from going high because, you know, they bring down the manic episodes. So I can't imagine someone would lie to get them. I mean, that would just make them depressed all the time. I mean, I guess you could lie about to get antidepressants, but that really doesn't make you feel any better. It just kind of brings you to neutral. They don't usually go above a certain threshold. So it's like, there's really nothing you could, either side of the coin, there's really nothing you could be getting out of this. You'd just be wasting your money on some expensive poop. I mean, because it would just go straight through your system. It wouldn't affect you at all. So it's like, you know, okay. I didn't even mention I was trans. I wasn't going to go into that. Because I'm just like, look, I don't like this person. She's already judging me. I'm not gonna be like, oh, by the way, I don't have a dick. Like, no. I'm just like, no, that's not important for this diagnosis. I don't want people to. So many people, if they're judging, they always think you have an issue. Like, she thought I had high insecurity because I have 2 boyfriends. And I mean, I do, but that's not why, you know? I said she seemed to think I was dating guys because I had issues with girls. Like, I was like, you're already clearly judging me for things that aren't, like, that important to my life. So I'm not going to mention something that's that important because I'm not going to stand and be judged for that. So many people are like, oh, you must have a mental illness because of this. Or the biggest issue me and a lot of other trans guys have had, and I heard trans women have this issue too. Do you ever think your issue could be because of your hormone levels? I know hormones have a lot of play. Okay. But, like, you break your arm. Maybe you should stop taking that testosterone. How does that affect my arm? Like, but they do. Doctors phrase it like that all the time. And this isn't just me. Like, a lot of trans people, they have this issue where you're like, I'm really depressed. Maybe it's because you're taking that estrogen. No. It's like, if you have, if you actually have a disorder to make you depressed, you're going to be depressed with or without that. Even if you don't have a disorder and you're really sad, it's not because of your hormone. Like, it's because something happened. Like, don't blame the transness. That's like saying, like, my life really sucks today. Oh, it's probably because you're straight. You should stop doing that. I mean, that's what it's like. Or, I mean, the big thing, they're always like, well, you're really depressed because you want to be your gender. Okay, so now that you're your correct gender, you shouldn't be depressed anymore. It's like, that's not how it works either. I mean, yes, the fact that people call me she was a big hit in my, big hit and made my depression really bad. But I still had it before then. I still have it after that. Like, that's not the only reason. And I'm not 100% male now. Like, I still need my surgeries. My name's been changed and everything, but, like, I still have paperwork. I keep changing my name, keep having to update forms. Like, it's not just like a boom, I'm a man now, the end. Like, it's a lot of work. And there's still a lot of unfair treatment because of it. So it's like, because of my hormone levels. So I didn't even want to risk that she was going to be like, oh, I'm not giving you any meds. It interacts badly with this. Or being something like, oh, of course you're, of course you're being, mood swings, because bipolar, so I'm testing for. Of course you have mood swings, because, your hormone levels are all out of whack. And it's like, no, they've settled down by now. I can guarantee that. You can talk to my doctor. I see her every 6 months. Says my hormone levels are perfect. I just saw her, 2 weeks ago. So you can have a very recent report. Yeah. And so many people say mood, testosterone's supposed to make you angry. So anytime anyone knows I'm trans, any counselor I've ever seen, we're like, do you have fits of rage? Do you ever feel like breaking things? It's like, I feel like breaking you. I mean, I'm not gonna threaten someone, but it's like, stop it. I may, complain online a lot, but honestly, meet me in person. I'm just like the shyest little person. I would never punch someone, even though I got mad at them. I'd just be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna back up, or, okay. Like, I would never fight someone. Honestly, my past should be proof of that. When people are beating me, I just, take it. So, even physically beating, I don't even defend myself. So, no, I don't feel like breaking things. And if I did, I wouldn't. So, obviously I have some control, which means my hormones are in control, which means my testosterone isn't in effect, which means it's not because I'm trans. So I'm just like, I'm not even going to mention that because she's going to try to pull that. And she may not have tried to pull that, but I don't want to risk me not getting my medication I need because of something like that, I don't want to risk that. And plus, my doctor has, she's dealt with bipolar people who are on testosterone treatments, and she can give them medications. It's not like they can't get it because they're on testosterone, it's still a safe way to do it and everything. It's nothing, nothing that's now unsafe or anything like that, So it's definitely still a safe. I'm not leaving out information that could hurt me or anything. No, I like it's still definitely a safe thing to do. I'm getting so worked up over something that didn't technically happen because I didn't say anything. But she seemed to think nothing I said was true or happening. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm really hoping that I get the results I need. Because she's expensive to see, first of all. It's like $200 for testing. At bare minimum. That's after insurance. Usually it's like $800 before insurance. So my insurance helps a lot. So I'm just like, I paid, but still $200. That's like a week's pay for me. Like, I need to make this work, like, make it work. So it's, it's like, I need, this is a lot of money out of pocket. You better even, I don't want to be like, because I paid a lot, give me the result I want. It's like, I want an honest result. But I don't want you to be like, well, they're gay, whatever. Like, I don't want you to not give me a result I need because of prejudice. That's more of what I'm getting at. And it's hard right now because if I don't get officially diagnosed as bipolar or whatever, it's going to feel like she did it because of prejudice. And I don't want it to think it that way. I want to be like, maybe I don't have it or something like that. But I don't think I'd be certain. If she says no, I feel like I'm not certain. Like, I would need someone else to do it because I don't kind of trust what she has to say. And maybe the area, because I've had 2 tests before. I've done one for bipolar now, and in the past I did one for ADHD. And both, ADHD one came back negative, and it was a really bad experience too. So I'm like, I kind of don't trust the Tyler area with this, or at least not the UT Health Clinic. So also about that, geez, my records are all wrong in her office too. Like, I understand if you have no records because, it doesn't transfer over sometimes. But she's like, so I have here that you were diagnosed with ADHD. And I'm like, no, I was not. Like, I was literally tested at this location and by a different person, admittedly, but they found me to not have it. Like, I was officially tested, not even like far away, like here. So if you have any information about this to begin with, which she shouldn't have, but if you have any information about this to begin with, it should be correct, because it's from here. And it's like, no, you don't have it. And she's like, no, I was like, I had it here. She's like, oh, right, your test was done by Ludo, wasn't it? And I'm just like, you shouldn't know who it was done by. You shouldn't even know, there's multiple testing people, so it wasn't like, oh, she was the only option. Like, it's kind of a breach of confidentiality here. Yes, Ludo was an intern. So she had to tell her supervisor, about any supervisor had to review any information. So maybe she was a supervisor. But even then, you don't be like, oh yeah, this person did it for you. Right, okay. And she had this result for you. It's like, you should ask me about it. That kind of seems like a whole... I mean, you can mention it and be like, so I noticed this test was done or something like that. But they'll be like, oh yeah, I already read your results. I know all about that. And it's like, clearly you don't. You didn't read the results right. But also, I don't know. I just didn't feel comfortable that she knew about that. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't be mad if she knew about other things as well on top of it. But it's like, I feel like she should know about everything or nothing. That's kind of how it is. Like, and again, I didn't give any, I don't know. Like, Ludo did have permission to tell her supervisor about things because she was still, not an official member, which was unfortunate, but I didn't think it would affect me any because I'm like, okay, I just want my results. I don't care, whatever. Like, you're free. Cool, I'll go with you. And that's actually the reason why I went with this person this time, because I had such a bad experience with the free people that I wanted to make sure, I actually got a good result. And I could see why their teachers did. But, I'm not going to say anything mean. I say after 25 minutes of something mean. But, I don't know, maybe it's because I kept laughing during it and kind of like, kind of fidgeting a bit like, oh yeah, and just acting like carefree. That's a defense mechanism that I definitely use. Because, I don't want to show things affect me. And I mean, I guess that's part of counseling, but like even my own counselor, she mentions, I'm finally not happy around her, and she likes that, which sounds weird, but she's like, the first time you're all laughing about, like, oh yeah, my mom beat me, whatever. And she's like, now you're actually like, yeah, and this is what happened. And because you're taking it seriously. You can't heal if you're just like, oh yeah, whatever, that happened in the past. Okay, but next question. You're just pushing it off. So it's definitely something I use where I'm just like, I don't even do it consciously. I'm just like, yeah, that happened. Okay, okay, whatever. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to get in details because I'm still very traumatized by that, you know? I don't want to get into details, which I've noticed some of my videos here. I kind of giggle like something bad be happening. I'm like, oh yeah, I had a suicide attempt. Ha, but look at my cute rat. You know, like, I do that a lot, you know? Like even now I'm kind of laughing. But I don't know. So she said my results actually be here a lot earlier than with Ludo. She said about 2 to 3 weeks. Well, she said a couple of weeks, how she phrased it, but I'm thinking of that means 2 to 3, you know? So a couple of weeks. It should be done by July, which I don't know if she has the timing right, because that's not a couple of weeks, that's like a week. Maybe I'm off, but it seems like a week, you know, because it's already the 26th right now. But I don't know. I don't know. Also, happy birthday, me. I know you guys probably like, your birthday was in March. And that's another weird story. Yeah, whatever. I'll add it into this video. I was like, maybe I'll do it separate now. For some reason, my mom is absolutely convinced my birthday is June 26th. I have no idea why. Ever since I was a child, she always celebrated that day. Like, that was the day that was my birth. You know, like, I don't know what it is. I think it's that she got it wrong once and refused to admit that she got her own child's birthday wrong. Because any form she filled out for school said 26th. She filled out my application to go to driving school, 26th. Like, she's always done June. That's just what she believes it is. My grandma believes it is too. I don't know. You know, like, whatever. Maybe my birthday's wrong. No. But, you know, that's for some reason they believe that. But then my dad, if he celebrates it at all, he says happy birthday in August. So I don't even know what's going on with them. You know, like, clearly that's not right there. And he's only done that once to be August. So maybe he just, I don't know. Maybe it was a late birthday or something like that. But he usually doesn't say happy birthday or anything. It's just kind of like, oh, hey, what's up? If he even talks to me. Again, I haven't talked to him forever. But so March is usually when I celebrate friends and people who I actually am close to. And June's when my family takes me out to eat. If they do. Sometimes they just ignore me completely. So it's like a second birthday. But it's different. It's like, I don't know. And I mean, it's kind of iffy. People are like, you have two birthdays. I don't get double the gifts, so don't think like that. It's more of like one part of my circle celebrates one part celebrates the other. So I'm not getting like double gifts each time, you know. But it's hard when neither is acknowledged in a way. And also it's hard when one isn't. Because, you know, it's such a big part of my life to have the two birthdays that when no one calls me on, you know, March over, I'm just like, feel really depressed or something like that. And then when no one calls me in June, I'm really depressed, even if they did it in March. You know, like, it's like, I don't know. I want them both to be acknowledged in a way. But March, I had to work my birthday. And tomorrow, or today, since it's past midnight, I'm going to be working as well. It's going to be inventory day, so it's going to be a horrible, horrible work day. So that's going to be much worse. And it's like, it's going to be, both birthdays are bad. You know, it's always like, well, the next one will be good. But the next one's not good because it's inventory. You know, like, I didn't get either off. I worked both days. I think I worked like a 12-hour shift on my March birthday. It was a horrible day. Maybe it just felt like that because it was my birthday and I wanted to leave. But it was probably at least 9 hours. And then this one, my grandma wants to take me out to eat early tomorrow morning. Or this morning. And it's iffy, yes. My thing is I have to wake up early, which I don't really like. But free food. But awkwardness, because she usually brings her boyfriend, who we hate each other's guts. He's very anti-trans, anti-LGBT, all LGBT, so I guess trans is included. very racist, and I'm dating a Mexican. I'm dating two Mexicans, so that wouldn't work. That doesn't work very well with us. He knows that. He's very pro-Trump. Like, he's one of those people I can't stand, and he's not. I mean, if you don't agree with something, some people are polite about it, and they're like, like, I really don't like Trump, but I won't, like, I don't like Trump, but I won't be the type of person that's like, oh, I see you have a Trump shirt on. Here's all the reasons why he's horrible. Like, I won't go out and say that. I'll be like, okay, whatever. I may avoid you, but I'm not going to be like, listen here, Whereas he'll just randomly mention it. He'll be sitting around or whatever, and he's just like, see, the reason why we're having such slow service is because they know I like Trump. And it's like, you're not even wearing anything that says Trump. We're having slow service because it's clearly busy. Like, what? And he'll go into, like, full rant sometimes where he'll just be like, or I'll be like, what do you want? I'm like, oh, I want the chicken nuggets. And he's like, ah, figures. All the gay guys like nuggets. It's like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, it's so weird. Or if I order anything Hispanic, he's like, oh, because you have that Mexican boyfriend, huh? And it's like, we're at a Mexican restaurant. Everything's Hispanic. What are you talking about? Like, it makes no sense. And he's one of those people. So I hate being around him. But my grandma's not allowed to be alone without him. That's a definitely controlling relationship. But that's how it is when you're my generation. I've seen some people her age that have amazing relationships. So it's not just your generation. It's, But, that's great. And then my grandma, I don't hate her. It's an iffy thing where I get along with her, but she keeps dead naming me all the time. And she'll say granddaughter all the time, too. Like, she'll be like, oh, like, they'll be ordering thing, and she's like, oh, this is my granddaughter's birthday. What do you want, sweet? What do you want, Rebecca? And I'm just like, I have a beard. No. Or she'll come and be like, my granddaughter's here to pick up her car or something like that. And then I'll be there, and I'm just like, yeah, thanks. I'm here to pick up my car. Like, they wouldn't have been able to tell unless you said something, Grandma. And I understand if she's like, oops, I mean, which is still annoying, but, like, I get it when people mess up. But no, she's just like, my granddaughter. Or, my friends say it's such a grandma thing. One of my friends said that. But, she'll be like, look how manly my grandchild looks. He used to be a girl. Look how far he's come. Like, she'll say that once or twice. I've heard her say that. And it's like, yes, that's really inspiring, but the stranger didn't need to know I was trans. The random lady at Walmart didn't need to know I was trans. Like, thanks, I guess? Or she'll be showing a bunch of pictures of me to, like, people who visit. Like, she has a lot of friends that come over and stuff like that. Showing pictures to them. And be like, oh, this is back when my grandson was a granddaughter. And it's like, Grandma, no. Like, I understand you want to talk about childhood pictures and anything else, but